Okay, now we're going to look about how to mix one song to another through the intros and the outros, because really, when we're listening to music, when we're performing, like if you're at a bar or a dance or something, you're not kind of hopping back and forth between songs. You could, like for a remix, but really, when you go from one song to another, when that happens, usually it's one song is sort of like just sort of finishing, another one is just sort of starting, and then the intros and the outros are sort of overlapping. Okay? So let me show you how to do that, because there's a lot of things to sort of consider. So no making fun of my music choices, because or else I'm going to teach you how to break dance next. Okay. All right. So on one, I have Gonna Make You Sweat, because I know that song, and Eye of the Tiger, because I know that song too. Okay. So I've loaded them both up. They're beat matched. Okay. So I've hit sync. So they're both beat matched. I picked them because they were very close together. One was 113 beats per minute and one was 114 beats per minute. So when I sync them, it doesn't change the sound of the song very much. So it makes sense. So what's really nice about this is visually I can see the outro right here. So the outro, it sort of just fades off, right? The instruments sort of like drop off one by one and sort of fades out. An intro does the opposite. It sort of builds up. So what's really nice is I want those to overlap, so there's no dead space where you're just kind of waiting like from one song to another, and you don't want it to be awkward. You want one song to sort of close while the other one opens. So, but I still need to keep in mind that I want them to overlap, but I have to keep in mind also the phrase matching and make sure the beat matching is the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm just fast forward ahead. I'm starting here near the end, so you don't have to listen to the whole song, although I know you love that song. And I'm going to play it, and I count the phrase matching. And when it starts to get close to the end, and I'm going to start the second song in the beginning of a phrase. And then what I'm going to do, so when it's at the very end of the outro, I'm going to slowly transition from one song to another, so it smoothly transitions from one to another. Now, the issue I think I'm having is that because I'm recording, and then so my mouse isn't like clicking when I want it to be, and everything's kind of laggy. And I imagine that when this is also streamed on a Google Meet, it might be a bit laggy. So it may not sound perfect, but and I'm not the best DJ, but we'll give this a shot. So I've kind of started it near the end. I'm going to count some phrases. I'm going to have the crossfader all the way to just the one song. When it's getting pretty close to the outro, then I'm going to start my second song on the downbeat of a phrase, and then when we're just about at the outro, I'm going to transition with the crossfader from one to another. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4. Okay, I did it. Okay, so again, it's like you have to, as a DJ, you got to know your songs. It has to be practice. A lot of this sort of like comes intuitively. Back in the day, how they would have been able to do this with records, they wouldn't be able to see those. They wouldn't have this digital graphic representation so they could see it, but you can actually see it on the records. You can actually see the circles and where those things are. So it's a lot of practice and just getting used to it, and of course listening with headphones. Okay. So practice this. And then next we're going to try our first actual real mix. Okay? All right. Have fun.